a more applicable, relevant application of the concept of NPV concept, the BDA question, December 2023, question 22. December 2023, question 22. December 2023. You can easily navigate through these worksheets, of course, and get it. I'm assuming you are all there. December 2023, question 22. Safari Limited is evaluating a project with the following details. Initial investment is 100 million. Residual value is 10 million. Year one project cash flow, 25 million. Annual cash flow growth rate from year 2, 10%. Project life is 5 years. Now compute the following project metrics. 1, payback period. 2, the net present value, NPV, assuming a discount rate of 12%. Then PI, assume a discount rate of 12%. Solution. We want to do the solution for that. Chini yake. So solution for this question. We start with the first one, payback period. So payback period, which I believe we are in a position to do using some, there is no function for payback period, of course. Now for payback period, you need year, this way, you need the year. It's year 1 to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Year 1 to 5. Year 1 to 5. So here then we have the cash flow. Then you can see a place for cumulative. So we also have cumulative cash flow. Cumulative cash flow. There is no function of a function that we can use for this. So tutaifanya tu venye tulikuwa tunafanya. Cumulative cash flow. What is the year 1 cash flow? The year 1 cash flow is 25 million. Year 1 cash flow is 25 million. You can see 25 million. So those things are all bold. So we can remove the bold. And you can edit that to represent that. Now that is 25 million. How was the cash flow growing? 10%. So growth rate is 10%. How do we grow cash flows? How do we grow cash flows? So equal sign, pick the first one. So equal sign, pick the first one times, then open bracket, 1 plus 10%. 1 plus 10%, then close bracket. They said that cash flow will grow by 10% in year 2. It's like multiplying with the 110%. Of course, you can see somebody whispering 23. Don't write 23 directly unless the cell that has 25 million is the same as mine. You just click on where there is 25 million, whichever will be brought there. Yeah, you can just use 10%. That way, then you'll get an answer of 27,500. Drag that down to year 5. It should be 27,500. So the formula should be the 25 million times, open bracket, 1 plus 10%. Or if you want, you can multiply the 1.1. The 25 million times 1.1, that can also work. Supposed to drag it from 27,500 moving down, then you'll get the answer. Cumulative means they are adding onto each other. So cumulative cash flow. cumulative cash flow. So that will be equal sign. The first one is the same as the 25. Yeah, enter. The first one is 25. Now the second one, how do you get the second one? How do you get the second one? It will be equal sign. The first one plus 27,500. Yeah. So the B20 mine is, you take the blue one is 25 million plus the 27,500. Then you can see the answer is 52. Then drag all the way down that way. So that becomes our cumulative cash flows. How do you get payback period? Now that we have that, payback period is equal to payback period. How do you get the payback period? Assuming I'm to put a formula here. Year before full recovery, year before full recovery plus year before full recovery plus a cash flow to year before full recovery plus cash flow to payback period. Cash flow to payback period, then over something, over cash flow in the final year. So we also have cash flow in the final year, over cash flow in the final year, if I remember well, that way. So that is the formula. Maybe if there's any error on that, can be corrected, but I believe that is the formula that we use to get the payback period. So year before full recovery plus cash flow to payback period over cash flow in the final year. So what is the cash flow to payback period? How do we get cash flow to payback period? Cash flow to payback period, I can get it here. What is the year before full recovery first? Because our initial outlay is how much? Initial outlay, can summarize them up there. Initial outlay has been given some amount. Let me put it here. The initial outlay is 100. So we have some 100. 100,000. 100 million. That is the initial outlay. So initial outlay is 100 million. How much is cash flow to payback period? Cash flow to payback period. You remember? Or where is payback period? If you have 100 million. Between year 2 and 3, 1 and 2, or 4 and 5? 3 and 4. Year 3 and 4, that is where 100 million falls. Year 3 and 3 and 4. Year 3 and 4. Now, cash flow to payback period, we are going to get the cash flow to payback period. If you want the cash flow to payback period, that would be equal sign cash flow to payback period. What minus what? You did these things. I've forgotten payback period. Somebody to help us. We are stuck. Cash flow to payback period is how much? Yes, Emma. Yes. Cash flow to payback period between, or how much is remaining to payback period? This minus this. Huh? Looks like this minus this. If you take these two, what remains for you to get to the payback period? So that will be equal sign 116. Is it 100 minus 82? I think it's 100 minus 82. Whatever remains, if you stop on year 3, then how much more do you need to get the payback amount? So you take this 100 minus 82. So 100 minus 82. So cash flow to payback amount. I think it should be cash flow to payback amount. Cash flow to payback amount. Then what is cash flow in the final year? Cash flow in the final year. Cash flow in the final year. Cash flow in the final year is how much? In the final year. See, the cash flow in the final year is 33. Final year, 33. The 33,275. Or alternatively, for you to get that, you simply take the 116 minus 82, which will give you still 33. So that is cash flow in the final year. Now that can help you to get what they want there. So this is cash flow to payback amount. Like that, cash flow to payback amount. This can be a place for a note. That way. Our answer now. Our answer. Or before we get to our answer, you must get the year before full recovery, which is 3. So the year before full recovery is 3. So I'll get 3. Year before full recovery is 3. So you stop at 3 because our amount is 100. You stop at 3. If you go to 4, it surpasses 100. So we are stopping at 3, then plus, open bracket, cash to payback amount, which is 17, over cash flow in the final year, which is, so I'm supposed to click here. This has refused, or there is no equal sign. So equal sign 3 plus, then you click here, over the 33. That will give you the final answer. Then close bracket again. So 3 plus 17,250 over 33 are 275. The 3 years plus 17,250, of course, over 33,275. That will be our payback period that we need. 3.518. Yeah. 3.518. Ian is wondering. Got lost. So 3 point, that becomes years. That becomes years. There is no Excel function for PBP. So you have to go the long way of doing that. How many marks was that? And little marks. Huh? Total was 30 though. Which years? Yes. No, but there's 3 here. There's a formula here that we took. 3 plus cash flow to payback amount. The cash flow to payback amount was, the payback amount is 100. Then where did you stop? At year 3, which was, the cumulative was 82. So 100 minus 82, 750. Got that? So net present value of the project. The net present value of the project. We already have some figures that we want to use up there. So just do equal sign, then pick the year, drag down, equal sign, pick the year, drag down. Drag down. Then cash flow. The cash flows are also up there. Then you drag down, cash flow. The one that we just have up there. So years and then cash flows. Now, there is one thing that is also included in the question, and they are talking about residual value. So residual value of 10,000, that will be recouped at the end of the last year. It's usually recouped at the end of the last year. So residual value is 10 million. That will be added in year 5. So residual value of 10 million. So go to under NPV in year 5, double click and add. It was 10 million or 12 million? It is 10 million. The residual value is 10 million. So plus 10 million. Like that, plus 10 million. So just add 10 million. So include. So you just double click what is there and add 10 million because it's inclusive of the residual value of 10 million. So double click plus then 10 million because you can write here include the residual value of 10M. So include the residual value of 10 million. The 10 million is not visible? Okay. Residual value of 10 million. No, equal sign. You just do equal sign, then you click on what you have up there. Don't copy paste. Equal sign, then you click on the first 25. Then you drag down the formula. What is the outflow? Initial outflow. What is the initial outflow? Initial outflow. Initial outflow. Initial outflow is 100 million. The initial outflow is 100 million. So we'll be using 100 million here. 100 million. So this thing is not properly edited. Looks funny with these other cells. 100 million. Okay, so let me adjust the column with it. So just do equal sign, then you click on 25 million up there. Then you enter, then you drag. You drag, it doesn't. Okay. That way. On the 5th year, you add 10 million. So include a residual value of 10 million. So you'll double click and just add plus 10 million on the 5th year. So you double click on the 5th year, then plus 10 million. Then initial outlay is equal sign negative. Can do equal sign negative because it's a negative, an outflow. What is the rate? Rate 12%. The rate is 12%. And therefore, give me the NPV. If that is the case, you can now quickly just give me the NPV. So what is the NPV? What is the NPV now? NPV. NPV. So now get the NPV, which is the last part, then we leave it at that point till tomorrow. So NPV will be equals to NPV using the NPV function. Using the NPV function. So equal sign NPV tab. The rate is 12, comma. The values are all here. The last one, close bracket. Then add, because this is a negative, you simply add here the 100 million, which is the outflow. Then you get your answer. So the NPV returns some long figure, which I want to 13,365,986.80 as our NPV. If you have a different one, you say.